Hello, it's me again, Emily. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we'll be looking at how to read tarot with the Devil and the Five of Pentacles. So I haven't done this reading in a long while because I felt like it wasn't the right time to do this reading. So I wrote down some notes as usual, but I didn't really write these notes until yesterday. I've been sitting on this one for a few months and thinking about it now, it didn't feel like the right time to write any of the messages down, to record this video, to sit down with it. It was just some notes on some post-it notes. But yesterday it was like, wow, I need to record this video. I'm going to write all the notes, and writing all the notes, it kind of solidified that, wow, this is a very in-depth reading. There's just so much to these two cards and I'm really excited to get into it. So yeah, this is the right time to film this video, so I hope you enjoy it. So if you like this type of reading, don't forget to like, comment to tell me what you thought of this reading, and subscribe to see more from me and to support my channel. All right, so just before we get into it, I recorded the monthly predictions reading, which is June, as a live reading, so check that out if you haven't watched it already. And I did another live as well. It was an energy reading, so feel free to watch that as well. So yeah, let's get into this now. So we have the Devil and the Five of Pentacles. So I'm using the Devil and the Five of Pentacles from Tarot of the New Vision, from Tarot in Space, from Wildwood Tarot, and from Before Tarot. I was going to use the Five of Pentacles and the Devil from the Book of Shadows tarot deck, but I don't have that with me at the moment. It's going to get shifted over and I'm so excited. Okay, so yeah, so we'll start off with, who should we start off with? With the Five of Pentacles. So as usual, we're going to start off with reading the Five of Pentacles, and then we'll read the Devil card separately, and then we'll read them both together. And then I will look into different messages that I may have missed out with the Tarot of the New Vision, to get a different viewpoint from the tarot cards, and if what I says resonates with the cards. Okay, so let's go over to the Five of Pentacles. All right, so now we are at the Five of Pentacles, and I just wanted to show you my notes. Oops. I hope you can read this. So where should I start? Okay, so I'll start with elements of the Eight of Chalices and the Stars. So actually, before I get into that, I am going to say that there are two sides to the Five of Pentacles. So I feel like it may not make sense in the first half, but then when we get to the second half, it will sound more like the Five of Pentacles. These are just my interpretations and what I have sat with this card. And I hope that it does make sense to you. Just let me know what you think of it in this comment section. But I'm really excited to talk about it because I never really saw this side of the Five of Pentacles until I was just thinking about the two cards together, the Devil and the Five of Pentacles. And it's just interesting what you can come up with when you just sit with the cards. But anyway, I'm rambling right now, so let's just get into it. So with the Five of Pentacles, we have the elements of the Eight of Chalices and the Stars. So the Eight of Chalices and the Stars. So I see this as, with the Eight of Chalices, wow, I said Eight of Chalices loads there. The Eight of Chalices isn't afraid to move away from what isn't resonating with them anymore, what isn't fulfilling them anymore. It's like moving away from the crowd and doing what the Eight of Chalices wants to do. Because the Eight of Chalices isn't a group-oriented person. The Eight of Chalices doesn't form a group identity. Maybe he did, maybe they did, but they don't anymore, because what the group wants, it's so out of line from what they want that they began to lose themselves in the process of trying to keep up with the group. So in that way, the Five of Pentacles is like the Eight of Chalices, because the Five of Pentacles is far out from everyone else. The Five of Pentacles is so disconnected from, I don't want to say so, maybe that is the right word to say for the Five of Pentacles. I'm just going to say it. So the Five of Pentacles is so disconnected from society, from everyone else, that maybe they have lost a little bit of themselves, or maybe they feel like they don't belong. And then with the stars, this is all about hope and faith in their path forward, and knowing that they are made for a bigger purpose. They are made for bigger things. So I wrote down, has a lot of faith and strong belief in themselves. I also wrote, has a lot of faith in self, that means to put themselves into unfavorable circumstances to thrive later on in life. So I am being taken to a person who wants to save for a house, wants to, I don't know, save to buy a building so that they can create different cafes or just build some form of business anyway. So they scrimp and save, and they deprive themselves of the things that they love, of the things that they enjoy, all for that future vision of owning a cafe, owning a clothes shop, owning a restaurant, whatever it is they want to own, so that they'll put themselves out, even hurting themselves in the process, so that they can reach their dreams, because they believe in their dreams so much that they will put themselves in this situation because it's worth it in the end. It will be worth it in the end. So I also wrote down big goals and dreams, and I put in quotations, when one door closes, another one opens. So they love to play the long game. So the long game, as I just mentioned as well, wanting to own a cafe, a restaurant, a clothes shop, whatever. And it's like playing the long game is going without their favorite meal for like a few years, because it's expensive, because it won't fit in their budget, or going without a social life, because socializing means you have to go out for a meal, you have to go for drinks, you have to pay for entertainment. So it's like, okay, I'm going to put this to the side and I'm going to focus on my dreams, my goals, because what's socializing going to get me? Nothing. Where is it going to get me? Nowhere. What am I doing here? I don't know. So I'm going to step back from a social life and focus on everything that I want. But then I'll get to that later, because I was going to say that's at the detriment to themselves, but we will get to that later because I wrote that on the other side. And I wrote in quotations, may receive thousands of knockbacks, but all you need is one yes. And then I also wrote down, where there's a will, there is a way. They have a strong belief that there is a will. When there is a will, there is a way. So it's like, it doesn't matter. They have this drive, this innate drive. I'm kind of getting the Chariot card now. They have this drive to keep moving forward, even if it's really uncomfortable, even if they feel like they have lost parts of themselves. It's important to get to the end goal no matter what, because even though there's many no's, in the end there may be a yes. Even though there are many setbacks, we can always get there in the end. It's like they hold their vision and they know that it will come true. Where there's a will, there's a way. They have a strong will, a desire to keep moving forward. And there's always a way, even if you get strayed off your path. That means you have to do something else to get back on your path. And they don't mind that. It may hurt sometimes because of the 5 of planets here. It's like, wow, that was a hard one to get through, but I'm still going anyway. I am enduring this because it's a must. I need to do this. So there's this deep need to do it, to move forward, to push through it all, because they know that the end goal is worth it. Whew, wow. So I also wrote, Doesn't want what everyone else wants, but still often wonders whether all of the struggle is worth it. So there are times when they question themselves, but then it's like they look back and think, wow, I've already come this far already. Why would I go back? It's like, if I go back, it's 10 steps forward, 20 steps back, and then you'll have to start all over again. And it's like, to go back, it's to go back to the old ways of doing things, and I won't be happy. But I'm unhappy now, so you know, it's that double-edged sword. It's like, I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. So which side is worth it? Going back to the life that I lived before, or moving towards the life that I know that I really, really want? Because it's so easy to give up. It's so easy to drop everything and be like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. But the Five of Pentacles will not do that. Amazing. I was going to say something else then, but I kind of got sidetracked by all that talking. I'll probably come back to it later on. And then I also wrote in quotation, it's not over until the fat lady sings. So it's not over till it's over. Oh, it's not over till it's over, but it's far from over. That Drake song, like, it's not over till it's over, and it's far from over. So only the Five of Pentacles can say when something's over, because they feel like they've made it. Or even when they've made it, does that mean they've really made it? Maybe they'd want more. Who knows? Because maybe they'll reach their end goal and they'll think, is this it? I want more. Because maybe they will reach to the point where they feel empty because they deprived themselves of what they really wanted so much, so that they can't feel the joy anymore. They can't feel the gratefulness. I don't like that word. They can't feel the relaxation in gaining what they wanted all along. So it's that double-edged sword again. So when they reach to their end goal, will they feel elated? Will they feel ecstatic? Will they feel like they can relax now and enjoy life? Or will they feel like they want more? Will they feel like they need more because this isn't very satisfying? Because they've lost themselves along the way. What brings them enjoyment? What even brings them enjoyment anymore? They don't know. Because they strayed so far from their self all this time. Yes, I remember what I was going to say now. A mountain. So when you're climbing a mountain, you get so far along that maybe you get tired and it's like, I can't do this anymore. Is the view worth it from the top? Is it worth all of this exercise, all of this body aches just to get to the top? So you look back down the mountain and it's like, but I gotta go back down that path I just came from, and then I won't be able to see the view from the top because it gave up halfway. So I might as well keep pushing forward so that I can get to the point where I want to be. When you get to the top of the mountain, you get so happy that you didn't give up, that you didn't turn back and do that climb down, and the view is worth it. So that's what I'm getting for the Five of Pentacles now, is that climb a mountain and get to the top and see the view from there, and that means you've won. And then you have to go back down. It's like the climb of emotion, because when you first start climbing a mountain, it's like you have so much hope that the views are beautiful. You have so much hope that you'll get beautiful pictures. You'll feel good about yourself. And then you start climbing and then you're like, wow, this is really difficult. Wow, this is not what I expected. Well, maybe you did expect this, but the reality is much more than what you imagined. So it's like you keep moving, and then it's like, I want to give up. But then there's this thought in your back of your mind, like, you can do this, I can do this. If you don't have the I can do this, I came to hike, so I'm gonna hike. If you don't have the I want to see this view so bad. If you don't have that mindset, if you don't have that thought process, then you're not going to make it to the top. You'll just go back down and wonder what's the view like. And then you get halfway and then you keep moving and you keep moving and then you see all the different types of views on the mountain. And it's like, wow, this is beautiful. So many photo opportunities, so many things to see. And it's like, wow, I'm so glad I didn't turn back. And then you keep going. You keep going. And then at some point you're like, oh, this is long. This is taking too long. I could be doing other things right now. But you still keep going until you reach the top. And you feel so elated that you're at the top and you're seeing the views. And you got something from it. You learned that climbing up the mountain represents life, where you may feel like you want to give up, but giving up is not an option, because you'll be missing out on the experience. And that's giving the 5 of Pentacles. Wow. Let me write that down. Like the process of climbing a mountain. And that's where I'm getting the Chariot from, because the Chariot is very strong-willed and is not going to give up. So I'm getting the elements of the stars, 8 of chalices, and the Chariot. Because if you don't have that I'm going to make it mindset, then the 5 of Pentacles will fail. And will keep turning back no matter what. Because if you are waiting for validation from the outside world saying that you can do this, I believe in you, if you don't have that thought processes of I believe in myself, then how are you meant to move forward? With the outside validation, you'll give up quickly, because once that outside validation disappears, it's like, no, I don't need to do this anymore. I'm just going to sit back and relax. But if you have that internal validation, then you can keep going no matter if the outside validation is still there or not. And the 5 of Stones has that internal validation. The 5 of Pentacles has that internal validation. That will to keep moving forward. Wow. Okay, so on the other side of this, but oh yeah, first I wrote down, well, I drew a sword. I wrote double-edged sword as well. And I thought, you know what? Let me draw blood coming off of the sword, because it's like hurting themselves at their own detriment. So with the sword, like I came up with this image last night as well. I don't know if this is going to sound too gruesome, but you know, I'm just going to say it. So when you have a sword or a knife, and then you can just cut yourself. Oh no, wait. You can just do a little, like a nick from the knife, and it's fine. You know, it will just heal nicely, and you'll move along and you won't even remember that you cut yourself slightly. Or you can give yourself a big gash from the knife, and then it could heal, but you will always see the scar there. So the 5 of Pentacles can either see the scar and learn from the scar and be like, I'm never going to do that again, because it will leave a scar and it hurt when it cut me. So I'm going to leave that alone and do something different. Or the 5 of Pentacles can say, oh, I was cut by this knife before and it's left a horrible scar. I'm going to do it again. Maybe it will turn out differently. And then we'll keep doing that again, and we'll continuously keep getting cut by the knife. And we'll get many more scars because the 5 of Pentacles wasn't learning. Or you can cut your this is very gruesome, but let me just carry on. You can cut your hand off, and then wonder, why is my hand not growing back? Why is my hand not growing back? I miss my hand. I am going to dwell on the fact that I have lost my hand and I'm not going to do anything ever again. Or I can find a prosthetic hand, use that and use what I have to keep moving forward and not dwell on the fact that I've lost my hand. Yes, there are different tools I can use to assist me on my way forward with no hand. And it's like the Five of Pentacles can either dwell on the fact that things have happened and not look for any assistance and feel down about it, or they can look for assistance and utilize that assistance for their own gain for the future. I hope that made sense. It made sense to me yesterday when I drew the sword and I really thought about this image in my head, but talking about it, it was like, no, it didn't go as well. But anyway, let's go. So yeah, I wrote down all of this strong self-belief, etc. could be at their own detriment. They cannot see when something is done with, so can go through a lot of trauma because they see potential. And then I wrote down, may miss what they used to have, might want it all back, so may linger longer than necessary. For example, childhood home or city, fizzled out relationships, unhealthy relationships. I said before with the Eight of Chalices, it's like leaving at their own detriment, putting themselves in unfavorable circumstances so that they can reach their goals. But then there's the other side of the Five of Pentacles where they will remain where they... Okay, yeah, so the other side of Five of Pentacles could be that they don't have the element of the Eight of Chalices and the Stars, and also the Chariot. Let me write down elements of the Chariot first. Okay, so they could have elements. There's one side where they'll have elements of the Eight of Chalices and the Stars and the Chariot as well. But then there's the other side where they could not have the elements of the Eight of Chalices and the Stars and the Chariot, and it's just pure Five of Pentacles, where they will stay where they have outgrown because it's comfortable, because, you know, it's what they know, what they used to, and it's unhealthy for them, and they are limiting their growth. Like with the Five of Pentacles, with all the other combination cards, there is growth there, even though they are limiting themselves. It's a future mindset. But with the Five of Pentacles on its own, it's a very past mindset. Yeah, past mindset. Like, I love this relationship. It fizzled out years ago. There's no love, no romance, no encouragement, no this, no that, the other. But I'm going to stay hoping that one day, well, actually, yeah, that does make sense with the Stars, with that hope. I'm going to hope that one day this person will love me again. One day this person will hold me again. One day this person will be like they were in the beginning. So they endure their circumstance so that they can see it out until the end, which is causing malnourishment, either physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, or all of them. Because when you stay in a place that is no good for you, you can harm yourself physically, where, you know, maybe you, and even physiologically. Let me write that down as well. Bear with me. Physiologically. It can harm you physically because maybe the Five of Pentacles will be like, okay, maybe I don't look the way I used to, so I'm just going to diet, and the diet isn't working because they're still the same as they were the other day. So maybe I'll just change my hair, maybe I'll cut my hair, maybe I'll dye my hair and damage my hair, Maybe I'll, I don't know, get tattoos when I don't want tattoos. They like tattoos and piercings, but I don't. But maybe it will impress them. It can cause malnourishment emotionally because they want love, but they're not getting love. So they're doing all they can to receive that love, but they are not acknowledging themselves. They're not putting that love onto themselves. They're not looking within to say, okay, I'm not getting love here. How can I fulfill my needs? They're not getting their emotional needs met. And that's very damaging. And they will be spiritually malnourished, because it's like once the emotions aren't being met, then the spiritual side will deplete. They'll feel depleted, and then mentally malnourished because they're not being mentally stimulated by their environment, by their person, by their people. So it's like they long for intellectual conversation, intellectual stimulation, and to learn different things. They aren't learning because they already know what's going on. They've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, but they are hoping that they will get a different experience, but it's never going to happen. And physiologically malnourished, like they probably get ill a lot of the time, have colds, flu, just a lot of illness, and that's why they are malnourished. So there's just a lot of need here, going out of need. If you think of the Maslow's hierarchy of need, so at the base of the triangle we have physiological needs, which is breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep. And then at the top of that, above that, we have safety and security with health, employment, property, family, and social ability. So it's like those last two sections of the triangle, they aren't being met. So then the other sections of the triangle aren't being met because the last two, or the first two, aren't being met. So how can the other sections of the triangle be met? Like physiological needs, food, maybe your diet, the Five of Pentacles diet, as I said before, because their partner doesn't look at them, so they may turn inwardly thinking, oh wow, it's me, they don't fancy me, my body, so I'm just going to diet and not eat and not drink any water. And with shelter as well, with their home life, there's a lack of love, a lack of comfort, so they feel uncomfortable, but they feel like they can improve their situation. And then with safety and security, their health is not the best. Maybe their work life with the employment section as well isn't the best. So it's like all areas of their life is not the best, because they stay where they have outgrown. They stay where they desperately need to leave. And also with the social ability, their social life has been impacted as well, because they are around people who aren't very intellectually stimulating, who are very mean people or whatever it is, but they feel like, oh, maybe I do fit in, or maybe they try too hard to fit in, which means that they don't fit in. So it's like, where do I stand? And let me write down Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So their needs aren't being met like they should be, because they feel like they need to stay put, need to stay where maybe they feel like they belong there, but they really don't. They are just missing out on a lot of life because they feel like they belong where they shouldn't be. Okay, and then the last note I wrote down was attachment styles in red, and anxious, preoccupied, and avoidant dismissive attachment style, disorganized fearful avoidant attachment style, and secure attachment style. So I circled anxious / preoccupied attachment style because that's the kind of style I get from the Five of Pentacles. Like anxious, preoccupied, like they didn't receive much love as a child. So it's like, oh, I'm going to stay in this relationship because this is all that I've known. I've experienced a lack of love in my childhood from my caregivers. So maybe this is what I deserve. This is normal. So they stay where they think things are normal when they are not normal. And with anxious as well, they become quite clingy. I don't like to use the word clingy because you can be affectionate, and then people use the word clingy because they love a nice hug, they love physical touch. So, oh, interesting. Maybe the Five of Pentacles loves physical touch because they are moving from a place of need instead of a place of, I love to be touched. I love touching people. I love holding hands. I love hugs. They're not going from that space. They are going from, I need hug. I need hugs. I need to be touched. I need to be in arm's length of someone because my needs aren't being met with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So it's like it's a never-ending cycle of, I don't belong here. I need love, I need affection, but I'm not getting it, so I must try harder to try and get it, but I'm not getting it. And it's like their mind could be a mess with the Five of Pentacles. Mind could be a mess with all of this going on, and maybe they come across as being too needy, being too clingy, being too strange. It's like giving is that his name? Midas from Unfortunate Beats. Let me Google that. What is that film called? Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, so it's, oh, let me see. Credence. Yes. Yeah, so as I'm talking about this now, I am being taken to Credence from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. He was lacking in so much love. He was just lacking in a lot of things, and his powers were very dark and destructive. So it's like his environment was so harsh, was so unloving, and then this turned him into a horrible person, basically. So he looked very pale and he had dark hair, and you could see that there was something very strange about him. And then he turned into this desperate person, I think. I'm just trying to remember what the plot of his life was, but he became this desperate person, and then his powers became very destructive. And that's kind of what I'm getting with the Five of Pentacles here. The Five of Pentacles can become very destructive with the lack of love, with the lack of everything, or they can become very isolated and an introvert. Wow, okay, isolated and introvert. Because when you come from a lack of love, then you can become someone that's so vicious and so awful. But then that's coming from a place of, oh, I want the world to burn because my life hasn't been the best. I want the world to feel my pain, but the world doesn't deserve to feel that pain. That's your pain. You need to work on it with the Five of Pentacles. Damn. And that's really interesting how I said isolated and an introvert, because I wrote down here beneath the Devil and the Five of Pentacles, isolation. And it's funny that the isolation is in this little section here, isolated from the Devil and the Five of Pentacles. And it's like with the Devil energy along with the Five of Pentacles, that could bring isolation, but I'll get into that with them combined. I love how it's all just coming together, guys. But let's move over to the Devil, because I feel like I've got everything I needed from the Five of Pentacles. All right, let's go. Okay, so let's move over to the Devil. Here we are with the Devil. Well, I wrote down a load of notes for the Devil as well. I wrote them last night, which is very interesting. So let's get into it. So with the Devil, I wrote down in fancy writing, this is the only fancy bit with, whoops. This is the only fancy bit with this whole thing. So there is a fine line between indulgence and overindulgence with the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Chalices. And I wrote it in fancy writing and these squiggly kind of bubble kind of things, and I drew some stars to show like a polished look and a polished feeling, like you feel very fancy and you feel really loved and pampered. I want to say the word pampered, and now I'm immediately being taken to the Empress, where you feel like you are desirable, you feel like you are being well taken care of, you feel like they get you, like the Devil energy gets you, the Devil energy wants to give you goodness in life. Oh, let me get the Empress energy. Empress energy. And you may see that they treat themselves well as well with the Devil card. So yeah, with the stars and the fancy squiggly things and the fancy writing, because I really felt like writing fancy with this. The Devil card exudes. I'm trying to find a big word here. They exude. Not fabulousness, not I want to say, like, you know, in British films where they are really dressed up, they have the beautiful ball gowns and the men are dressed up in suit and tie or black tie, and their hair is the men's hair are parted at the side and gelled down nicely, and they're drinking champagne, and the music is very fancy, and they are dancing, they are twirling around to the music, live music, where there's violins, where there's a bass, a cello, whatever. And that's the kind of image I'm getting here. It's very I want to say the word aristocratic. Let me Google that. Aristocratic. What does that mean? Aristocratic. Okay, yeah. So the word aristocratic describes a person at a highest level of society, such as a prince or a duchess, or those people or things that are so distinguished that they seem to belong to that group. Okay, that makes sense. So they may seem to be very distinguished, and they may treat you like a prince or a princess with the Devil energy here, which makes you feel fancy and like you are a star in their eyes, and you can do whatever you want with this person. It's always going to be a good experience. But then I wrote down in a box here, in the beginning is sweet, fancy, fun, magnetic, alluring, interesting, intriguing, but sweetness gets addictive and becomes toxic. Because when I first wrote the notes for the devil, I wrote down in the beginning it's sweet, but sweetness gets addictive and becomes toxic. But I felt like writing fancy, fun, magnetic, alluring, interesting, and intriguing yesterday. So that's very interesting that it's like the devil has a very alluring energy. Like, I will draw you in and I will make you feel a certain type of way. And then with the fanciness here and then the boxed in energy, I wrote down here, from fancy, shiny, new to boxed in and nowhere to go. So shiny, brand new, amazing, fabulous, but then it's all boxed in and there's nothing very interesting. I'm getting like, as well, when you first meet someone and you're on the first date, they portray themselves as something that they are not. So then it's like you are instantly falling in love with someone that is the complete opposite to how they are. And it's like you keep going on dates with them and they show themselves to be that person from the first date. But then a few months down the line, it's like they subtly become who they are, really. And then it's kind of like you're clinging to how they were in the first date. But then you don't want to, wow, this is giving Five of Pentacles energy. But you'll see that they're changing, but then you have this belief that they will be who they were in the beginning. So then it's hard to leave the devil energy because you are seeing how they were and it's not matching up to who they are, but you believe that they can be that person again, so that, you know, they will be loving again, they will be fun again. But what I'm seeing here is a complete opposite of that. And you don't realize that you're boxed in because you are missing the shiny. Wow. Okay, that went real deep, real quite fast, but let's keep going. So I also wrote OCD, wanting to control everything. Behind OCD is anxiety. It could stem from possible viewing of controlling behaviors from their caregivers or lack of control or schedule as a child. So it's, when someone has OCD, it's not just that they want to have things in their place. It's not that they want to keep switching the light switch on and off and on and off for a certain number of times. It's, they are anxious about something. There's something that has happened in the past that has caused them to be this way. So could it be that their caregivers was controlling in the past? Like, you know, kids can be messy with their toys. So the toys are all over the place. And then the parent comes in and starts shouting and putting the toys in ordinary fashion and telling the child to sit still, don't move those toys, even though the toys are there enticing them. And it's like, do I get the toys and have fun, or do I listen to my caregiver who's saying, no, you're not allowed to have fun, you're not allowed to cause mess? So from that lesson, they have learned to be more organized, be that controlling person, it's like trying to control everyone and control their environment at all times, because maybe the parent, the caregiver, was anxious about mess. Maybe the caregiver experienced the controlling parents themselves, so it's therefore transferred onto the devil energy as a child. So then they become the person who wants to control people around them and their environment. But you can't control your environment and people because they have their own minds. But when you learn to show a completely different side of yourself when you first meet them, and then become a totally different person later on. It's like they become the master, become the master of people. They become the person who can easily read people. They can easily read a room. They can tell by someone's body language. They can tell by someone's vocal tone whether to be around them or not. Because are they easily controlled? Are they easily like the Five of Pentacles? Or they experience a lack of control or schedule as a child. So their caregiver could have been someone who was very erratic, very all over the place, very chaotic. Yeah, that's the word. Chaotic and erratic. So that they didn't have control over their environment, over people. So that they became the Five of Pentacles and they were easily controlled, or they couldn't put a schedule for the child. So for the child's bedtime, a child should go to bed at a certain time so they can get enough sleep. But maybe the child, the devil as a child, didn't have a set bedtime and they went to bed early in the morning, therefore were tired when they went to school and they kept falling asleep and they'll get into trouble. So from those experiences where everything was out of their control and where they kept getting told off because they were falling asleep in class, it's like, I can't let that happen again. I can't keep getting told off. I can't keep having this lack of schedule. So they become very schedule orientated. They need to have everything planned down to the last minute. So therefore they have control over their own schedule, which makes them want to control everything around them and even people. So those can be the two different sides of the devil from their childhood. Wow. Oh, and then the last bit here, I wrote down nature versus nurture. So is the devil a product of nature, or is it nurtured within them? Growing up as a child into adulthood form, is that nurtured, the energy of the devil? So is the devil naturally like this, which makes it a horrible dark energy, like Credence from... Oh wow, we're getting overlapping messages from the Five of Pentacles, because I thought I spoke about Credence in the devil, but it was the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles and the devil are interlinked in some way, which I didn't realize until I'm doing this reading. So let me just write that down as well. Or did the environment shape this energy with what I was talking about with controlling behaviors from their caregiver, or lack of control or schedule as a child? So it's an interesting kind of way to interpret this, because it could be either or. But then I wrote down in the stars as an important message, as a disclaimer, don't waste your time trying to figure it out. Don't pollute yourself to try to water a polluted garden. Because with the Five of Pentacles, they can stay in this energy trying to figure it all out, so that they end up polluting themselves with this dark energy of the devil. Because the devil could be that dark energy, but like with the devil as well, it can, as I was saying before, it can be magnetic, alluring and interesting, which leads to passionate energy. Passionate energy and like exploring your needs, exploring everything that may seem like a taboo in society. Wow, the devil is a taboo in society. Okay, let me just write that down as well. The devil is everything that people don't want to talk about in life, so they try to hide it. Therefore, they hide it and it comes out in different ways, which makes them toxic, which makes them kind of not very nice people. And that's where counseling comes in, because when we hold on to the taboo, you can become the devil, who is controlling, who is manipulative, who is afraid to explore the darker sides of themselves, as to why they are so attached, why they have OCD, why they have anxiety, why do they like to stick to a schedule, why do they like to control everything around them. So the devil is a taboo in society. Wow, okay. So now that we've done that reading, let's go into the devil and the Five of Pentacles together. Okay, so now we're at the devil and the Five of Pentacles together. I want to just mention that I wrote down the devil and the Five of Pentacles as the title here. So the devil is in capital letters, and I didn't put a space between the and devil. And then we have the Five of Pentacles, which is all in lowercase writing and is in blue. And it's in a smaller writing than the devil. So it kind of represents how the devil is a bigger energy than the Five of Pentacles. But then at the same time, as we found out just, the Five of Pentacles and the devil are quite interlinked in their energies. Are they one in the same, or are they just similar? So yeah, just similar is the right way to put it. And the devil without any space, it's like you don't get a breather from the devil, because with OCD, you don't get a breather from OCD and your anxieties, and you don't get a break from your past, because the devil's past is left unexplored. So it's like the more you don't explore your past, is the more intense the energy of the devil becomes over time. Therefore, the Five of Pentacles, which could be your inner child, it goes smaller and smaller, while the past, the OCD, the anxiety, the whatever, becomes bigger and bigger over time. Therefore, leaving your inner child to the side, and which can cause isolation. You're isolating your inner child with when the bigger the devil becomes, the smaller the inner child becomes. And it's like your inner child is isolated, and it's like you're not feeding your inner child at all. Very interesting. It's more like you're harming yourself more than helping yourself with the sword. Damn. Very interesting. So I wrote down here as well, it's like the devil is the what? So we know with the devil is the obsession, is control, is desires, is a taboo in society. But then just the devil on its own doesn't tell us why the devil is controlling, is obsessed, is a taboo, is this, is that, the other. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. When the Five of Pentacles is with the devil, it tells us the why. The feeling left out, the controlling childhood needs order. Control from the devil seems normal. So I wrote down control from the devil seems normal, because that's all the Five of Pentacles knows, is control, or lack of hugs, lack of affection. So when the devil comes in with the lack of affection, it's like, okay, this is normal. I am where I am happiest. I am where I deserve. This is all I know, so this is all I deserve. That's the kind of message I get from this. So what is the devil? The devil is controlling, obsessed, is a taboo. But why? Because the Five of Pentacles childhood wasn't the best. Because the Five of Pentacles is this, is because the Five of Pentacles needs order. You know, so then the devil comes in and brings that order to the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so it's like you can't have one without the other, because you can ask what questions. It's like, what does this mean? What do you mean? What did you just say? But then if you don't ask, why did you say that, to get a deeper understanding, then you'll be left with this heated energy of the devil, this overbearing energy of the devil, which becomes the taboo in society, which then turns into intense emotion, or just feeling like you need, which turns into a need. A need is not a nice space to be in. Woo. And then the devil may seem like an intimidating hard nut to crack, but coupled with the Five of Pentacles, there is a story behind the devil. Is the devil self-conscious, fearful and lost, really? And I also wrote a sheep in wolf's clothing. So once you explore the past with the devil and all of the past, you will begin to see that the devil is a sheep in wolf's clothing. Like, they aren't as scary as they seem. But then again, disclaimer, don't try and stay in this kind of energy if you feel like, wow, the devil was this before, but then the devil is like this now. Because it's not a very healthy energy. It could be quite destructive. And the Five of Pentacles can be quite destructive, trying to get their needs met, you know? So yeah, very, very big energies here. It can be quite a hard-hitting... Yeah, I understand that this sounds very hard-hitting and very a negative view, but these are quite big, two very big cards in the deck of tarot. And these two cards need to do a lot of inner work, need to do a lot of understanding of their past in order to move forward, because the devil will keep you in your past, and the Five of Pentacles remains in the past. Or it could be a very future oriented energy, but it depends on the person you're reading for, the type of energy that is around you, whatever. So yeah, I feel like that's enough for the combination of the devil and the Five of Pentacles. So now I'll just ask the tarot of the new vision, what other messages can we get for the Five of Pentacles and the devil combination. So I just picked up the deck and the Nine of Pentacles was reversed, so I guess I could read that first. And so the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles upright is someone who's very happy being where they are in their environment, are very comfortable and feel like they can please themselves. But the Nine of Pentacles in reverse is quite an uncomfortable energy. Like, they don't feel like I'm getting like imposter syndrome with the Nine of Pentacles in reversed here. Maybe they constantly feel like they are an imposter, which is very interesting because I got that with the Hierophant and the Justice card. But then at the same time, I did mention the Devil card with the Hierophant. It makes sense that the devil has imposter syndrome. Interesting. All right, so let's go deeper into this then. So what other messages can we get from the combination of the devil and the Five of Pentacles? Yo, I would scream if the Hierophant comes out, or even the Justice card. Let's see. Okay, what can we get from these combinations? Oh, one last thing as well. When I was preparing for this reading, I had the rose quartz out, but then it felt like an overwhelming need to get this rose quartz away from me, because it just didn't feel like it fit with this reading, which is very interesting because I don't usually feel this with my crystals. It's usually I'll just have whatever crystals out, and if I don't feel like I need them, then I'll just put them away. But then with this one, it just felt like I don't want to see it right now. I don't want it anywhere near me. I don't want it anywhere near this interpretation of these cards. So because it's a rose quartz, it's pink. The rose quartz is to do with the heart chakra. It's linked to the heart chakra, and it's with the Five of Pentacles and the Devil. Their heart chakra is not open. Yeah, okay, it's not an open energy. The heart chakra needs to do some work to open up. So they need to explore themselves emotionally in order to understand why they're so controlling, why they are the way they are, so that their heart chakra can open up and they can fully love themselves as well. Because maybe there's an element of lack of self-love. They don't love themselves, so they need to find love elsewhere. They can't control, and there's that lack of understanding that they can't control everything. So then when you try to control everything, it's like you're not allowing flow into your life, which brings me to the Cups cards in the tarot, where there's plenty of flow with the Queen of Chalices and the Two of Chalices, where there's a flow of love and appreciation. There's a lack of appreciation with these two cards and a lack of love with these two cards. It's something else. There's a lack of flow and a lack of love. Ooh, very interesting. And that's why I didn't want, that's probably why I didn't want the rose quartz around these two cards. Look at the Hierophant. But I feel like I need to shuffle some more. Why do I need to over shuffle these cards? Let's see. One more time. Celebrate the feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate. Oh yeah, alright. Start the dancing. One more time. Wow, the Eight of Chalices in reverse. Wow. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. Why am I singing this song right now? Celebrate the feeling so free. So I'm singing the song, I don't know what it's called. The lyric is celebrate the feeling so free. But can they really celebrate the feeling so free when they are so consumed in trying to control everything, trying to be loved, trying to get their needs met, that they forget that there's freedom out there? Ooh, damn. Okay. Well, let's get into it with the cards. We have the Eight of Chalices in reverse. So we have it in reverse, but it's very interesting because at the beginning, I wrote down with the Five of Pentacles, it has the elements of the Eight of Chalices and the stars, but I saw the Eight of Chalices as being upright. So it's very interesting that it's in reverse now. So in reverse, the Eight of Chalices remains where they are unhappy. Maybe the Eight of Chalices can't see that they're unhappy because other emotions are there, like I need to be loved, I need to be around these people, I have outgrown this place, but I don't feel like I can leave because what will happen next? I don't know what will happen next and I'm scared. So there's an element of fear there. Fear of what's next. Fear of what will happen if I leave. What will happen? It's like maybe there's that lack of emotional intelligence. Eight of Chalices upright knows what he needs. Knows that, okay, it's time to leave. The Eight of Chalices knows when it's time to leave. But with the Ace of Chalices reversed, it's like there's no awareness of when it's time to leave, so they stay. And then we have the Ten of Swords. Wow. And the Ten of Wands in reverse. Let's get one more card. These are quite strong cards to come out of the deck. If the Eight of Chalices came out upright, it wouldn't be so strong or potent. With the Ten of Swords, this is a very strong card as well. So it's a very, the two cards together, the Devil and the Five of Pentacles, have two very strong energies. And I also mentioned Credence from Fantastic Beasts, and Credence is a very strong character, has a very strong energy about them. When you see them, they seem very strange, very odd, very out of character, because everyone in that film, very polished, very well-to-do, very rich, I think, from what I remember. But then you see Credence, who is very isolated, very pale, and very, wonder what's going to happen next with him. And it's like, what's going to happen next with the Devil and the Five of Pentacles energy? We don't know. We have the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords, two very... and then we have the Empress at the bottom of the Eight of Swords. I mentioned the Empress card before, who it's like when you first meet the Devil, maybe they make you feel like you are worth it. They make you feel very good about yourself, like you can relax and you can rely on the Devil energy to do right by you. But then you get used to the Devil energy, and then it's like you feel stuck. You end up feeling stuck. There's like ultimate possibilities with the Empress, because the Empress is pregnant with a child, and then there's the questions of, oh, who will this child become? What will they do in life? Oh, I'm going to dress them like this. Maybe they'll look like me, or maybe they'll look like the other person. So there's all kinds of possibilities with the Devil when you first encounter the Devil energy. But then once you get used to the Devil energy, you may feel like, oh, I am used to this energy now. I can't remove myself from this energy, because they were once so enticing with lots of possibilities, but then you don't see the possibilities anymore. Maybe you feel like you do. Maybe you feel like there's hope there with the Eight of Chalices and the Stars card, but it gets lost along the way, and you feel, it feels like maybe this is the controlling energy of the Devil. Maybe this is the Devil's mind, who feels like, I am stuck. I don't know what to do next. There's that inner child reference again, because I'm saying the words, I am stuck, I am lost, I don't know what to do. And then I'm visualizing a child, like trying to wait for instructions, waiting for their caregiver, waiting for their mom, their dad to give them love, but they don't give them the love that they need. So I'm just getting like a lot of neediness here. I need this, I need that, I need mental stimulation. There's that lack of mental stimulation from the Five of Pentacles and the Devil card. Wow, this is a very strong messages, but it's what I'm getting right now anyway. Yeah, very strong energies. And then with the Ten of Swords as well as the Eight of Swords, it's very stuck. There's a lack of growth. There's that, as readers say, as I've learnt as well, there's that lack mindset. That lack mindset of, I need love, I need money, I need this, I need that. But if you have a growth mindset, it's like, I could do with this, but I don't really need it. I will get it when it comes to me. But for now, I am here, and I will embrace the moment. So it's like the Five of Pentacles and the Devil are unable to embrace the moment, because they are so enveloped in needing to control, needing love, needing affection. Wow. With the Ten of Wands reverse, Ten of Wands reverse, it's, so the Ten of Wands is usually someone with a lot of responsibilities, carrying a lot. But when it's in reverse, it's like putting down all those responsibilities, letting go. So that's very interesting it's a very interesting contrast. Wow, yeah, contrast. So the devil has a contrast. When you first meet them, it's shiny, new, fun, alluring. But then once you get to know the devil energy, they are the opposite. And with the Five of Pentacles, it's a double-edged sword of the Eight of Chalices and the Stars and the Chariot, with that hopeful energy and that putting themselves out so that they can improve their future. And then there's the other side where it's like, I'm going to stay here because it's all I know. So it's that kind of contrasting energy there. With the Ace of Swords, why do we have the Ace of Swords here? Wow, oh my gosh, the double-edged sword. Wow, guys, I am blown away here. So is the double-edged sword I drew here the Ace of Swords. It can be quite a cutting energy. Wow. I mentioned the Eight of Chalices, the Empress, the Sword energy, the Hierophant, and all those cards showed up. I am kind of speechless by this reading, guys. Okay, yeah, speechless. Why am I speechless? Why is that coming into the reading? Maybe the Five of Pentacles feels speechless by the devil energy when they first encounter them. But it's like, it turns into being speechless, but in a different way as you get into the devil energy. Like, they are so different to how they were before that you become speechless and you don't know what to do. But then you end up staying anyway, hoping that things will change. Hopefully things will get back to how they used to be, but they never do. And it's like you speechless because you can't tell anyone about it. Or maybe you do tell people, but then the Five of Pentacles ends up giving a flowery kind of explanation of the devil. So when the Five of Pentacles first meets the devil energy, they say to their friends, oh wow, they're so fun, so delightful, so nice, so loving. But then as the relationship progresses, they see them as different, but they still tell their friends a different story, the story that they initially told them about the devil. So I'm getting the word smoke and mirrors here. So let me see, what does smoke and mirrors mean? What does it even mean? Smoke and mirrors. Something intending to disguise or draw attention away from an embarrassing or unpleasant issue, usually hyphenated when used at... Okay, let's forget about that bit. So the Five of Pentacles, maybe deep down, the Five of Pentacles knows that the devil energy isn't all that pleasant. So it's like they're trying to draw attention away from their friends that the devil energy is not the devil energy. So they give them different stories about the devil energy So they might say, oh, they're so fun. We had so much fun last night. We went for a picnic. We went here, we went there, we went everywhere. Where in fact, they just didn't do that. I was going to say something very interesting there, but I couldn't find the interesting version of it. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing here anyway, with the Five of Pentacles and the devil energy. I hope it wasn't too negative, but it's kind of like giving that negative energy because the devil and the Five of Pentacles, as I said before, is a taboo subject in society, and we don't want to talk about the negatives or the downsides in society, because society just wants us to talk about what's amazing, you know, focus on the positives. Oh, the negatives don't exist. You know, we got to think positively, we got to do this, we got to do that, the other. But it's just putting a shadow to the things that we need to work through, the things that we need to work on. And that's the kind of energy I get with the Devil and the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm seeing anyway from this reading. I hope it highlights certain things for you. Just let me know what you thought of it in the comment section so we can have a discussion about what you thought of this reading and whether my interpretations were far off from how you interpret these cards, or if you've heard of anything new from this reading that you want to add to your own readings. Just let me know anyway. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. But yeah, so this is what I'm seeing anyway. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.